gentlemen. I can see that most of you are still here. Good. Now I'm talking about this jihad and what does this mean, okay? And then we'll continue with the violent extremism in Islam, or some Muslims might be doing. So jihad literally means to strive or to struggle. Literally, jihad. Remember, three-letter root, jihad means to strive or to struggle. So it's the name of all exertion, effort, and perseverance that Muslim demonstrates in order to be bestowed with God's pleasure or the pleasure of God. So anything you could do as a Muslim, okay, to earn the God's pleasure or the God's approval, that's jihad. And jihad and its conjugations are repeated 34 times in the Quran. Jihad and its conjugations are repeated 34 times in the Quran, and only 4 of them refer to war, only 4 of them refer to killing, only 4 of them refer to battle. Okay? Huh?
Is that 14 name?
4?
Is that 14 name?
It's just a number. Okay? Because there are some other terms that are used for killing. For example, the word for killing in Arabic is qital. Q-I-T-A-L. Q-I-T-A-L. Means killing, means murder. Okay? Another word, muharaba. Okay? This is the term that is used for battle or war between 2 groups or between 2 states, muharaba. So these are the terms that the Quran is using for killing or for muharaba. Okay? There is another term, ijtihad. It comes from the same root with jihad. Ijtihad, this is the struggle, this is the striving that the Muslim scholars are having to find a solution from the Quran or from the Hadith. They have a problem living in the 21st century and they don't see the answer, they don't see the solution in the Quran and the Hadith. Now they are trying, they are using their intellect, they are using their reason, they are using their mind to find a solution, to find an answer. Okay? So that struggle that they are having is ijtihad, comes from the same root with jihad. For example, we talk about this, praying 5 times a day, right? And I said the place or the floor must be very clean, okay? So the Muslim scholars are asking this question: what if a Muslim is on a transportation, on the bus, on the plane, on the ship? Can Muslims still pray facing Mecca? The direction changes, right? So this is the question, for example, it's just as an example that these Muslim scholars are trying to have an answer to that question. Again, that effort is called ijtihad, comes from the same word with jihad. A Quranic passage. So the Quran says, so God is speaking, I have enjoined on a human being to be kind and good to his parents. To be kind and good to his parents. But if your pagan, if your atheist, if your non-believer parents do jihad against you to make you associate with me, the God, anything as partner, do not obey him. If your unbelieving parents, if your idolater parents, if your pagan parents do jihad, okay, do not obey him. Again, so this is how the Quran is using the term jihad. Another passage from the Quran. Okay? Do jihad with your wealth. Do jihad with your money. So giving a donation is a jihad. Okay? Giving a donation, making charity is a jihad. Do jihad with your wealth in God's cause, doing so what is for your good, if you but know it. Okay? So doing jihad with the wealth, doing jihad with money. So this is one aspect of the word jihad. In Islamic tradition, jihad is divided into 2. The first one is called the greater jihad. This is the struggle. Remember, it means struggle. So this is the struggle that Muslims should be having with the devil, with the Satan, also with carnal self. Have you seen the movie The Lord of the Rings? Yes? You remember Precious? No? This is a scene that from The Lord of the Rings. I mean, just referring to the ego for those who have seen. So this is the ego, this is the self that the Muslims have to struggle with their carnal self. That could be 7 deadly sins, that could be greed, that could be lust, that could be another deadly sin that they have to struggle. They have to struggle with the Satan, with the temptations of the Satan. That struggle, again, the Muslims are having is called jihad. Okay? There is another jihad, and this is the violent struggle. This is called the lesser jihad, lesser struggle. This is the physical action on the battlefield. This is the struggle that you are having on the battlefield against the enemy. You are struggling to win the war, to win the battle on the battlefield against the enemy. That struggle that you are having is jihad. Greater jihad or lesser jihad. As you can see, jihad may mean and does mean armed struggle if Muslims are attacked and obliged to engage the enemy in order to abolish the threat. So the jihad means an armed struggle as a self-defense. As you will see, Islam is not a pacifist religion. There is war in Islam. There is war in Christianity. There is war in Judaism. Yes, we have these pacifist Christian groups like the Mennonites or the Amish people, pacifist, totally against the war. But there is war in Islam. However, there are some rules, there are some guidelines that Muslims have to follow. When you look at the Quran, when you look at the Hadith, that you will see those guidelines. When to start the war, when you stop the war, how you treat the prisoners. Okay, these are all detailed in the Quran and the Hadith. Okay, so this is the struggle on the battlefield. I will get to war again. So for Muslims, again, Islam comes from the root peace, right? Peace is essential. People are asking these questions. Is Islam a peaceful religion? Islam is not a peaceful religion. Islam is not a violent religion either. Muslims might be peaceful. Muslims might be violent. If you are a violent person, your Islam will be violent. If you are a peaceful person, your Islam will be peaceful. If you are a violent person, your Christianity might be violent. If you are a peaceful person, a violent person, your Christian or Judaism might be violent, might be peaceful. Okay? So peace is essential for Muslims. However, as I said, there is war, as you will see the details in the following passages and the following slides. War is secondary, war is temporary, war is unnatural. Okay? So the Muslims believe that religion establishes to peace, or try to establish to peace. Remember the core of the message that was given to Adam, Abraham, Moses, Jesus. I said, seek peace, seek God, seek life. Okay? And you saw this before, Assalamu alaikum, peace be with you. So this is the daily Muslim greeting. So this is how Muslims are supposed to greet another human being. Assalamu alaikum, peace be with you, or peace be upon you. Okay? So there are some Quranic passages that I just want you to see. The first passage, it says, when you go forth to war in God's cause, investigate with care until the situation becomes fully clear to you. And do not say to anyone who offers you the greeting of peace, you are not a believer. If someone says salam, if someone says peace to you, do not tell him or do not tell her that you are not a believer. Another passage, if they withdraw, who is the enemy? This is the enemy. Who is the enemy? Who is the enemy? These are the pagans. These are the idolaters in Mecca living during the time of the Prophet Muhammad. That's the enemy. If those pagans, if those idolaters of Mecca, if they withdraw from you or Muslims, do not fight against you. If those people, if they stop the action, if they stop the war, if they stop the battle, and do not fight against you anymore, offer you a peace. If they offer you peace, then God allows you no way to war against them. As I said, these are all explained in the Quran. When do you have to stop the war? When should you stop the war? If they say peace, you have to stop the war. If they incline to peace, this is another passage from the Quran. If they incline to peace, you have to incline to peace too, the Quran says. And just one passage, one hadith, again this is for the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad, remember. Muslim is the one who avoids harming people with his tongue and with his hands. Muslim is the one who avoids harming people with his tongue and with his hands. Okay? Now, in Islam, human life is sacred. Not just the life of Muslim, but the human life is sacred. Okay? And there are these, what's called the Zaruriyatul Khamsa, the 5 essentials. Your life, your lineage, your family, your religion, your intellect, and your property. So these are the 5 essentials. These are the 5 things that you have to defend. As I said, there is war in Islam as a self-defense. Someone is coming to kill you, someone is attacking you, you don't just sit there. You fight back. You defend yourself. You defend your family. Okay? You defend your property. You defend your land. You defend your religion. In that sense, there is war in Islam, as a self-defense, as I said. Okay? Another passage from the Quran. The slaying of a person, killing of a person unjustly. So I will say this is the innocent civilian. Innocent civilian, okay? He is unjustly slaying of the whole of humanity. As I said, right? Let's say there is war, you are on the battlefield, there is a guideline that you have to follow. So you cannot kill the innocent civilian. The war, the Quran says, this is what the Hadith says, it must be declared by a legitimate authority. War must be declared by a legitimate authority. The head of the state must say that now there is a war between this nation and this nation. Otherwise, you cannot declare a war. The war cannot be declared by individuals. War cannot be declared by groups. Okay? And when the war starts, you have to follow the central authority. So you cannot act by yourself. You have to listen to the central authority during the war. You cannot kill the innocent civilian. I mean, again, these are detailed in the Quran. So there is a hadith in the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad that says, you are going to the battlefield, you are on the way, you are on journey. It says, you cannot kill the clergy. You cannot kill the religious people. You cannot kill the innocent civilian. You cannot harm the trees. You cannot kill the enemy. You cannot kill the animals. You cannot destroy the religious building. This is in the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad. You cannot destroy the churches. You cannot destroy the synagogues. You cannot destroy the temples. Okay? Again, there is war, but there is a guideline. So you cannot kill an innocent civilian. Killing one person is like killing all humanity. Another passage from the Quran, whoever kills a believer intentionally, again, from Quranic perspective, yes, there are those Muslims who want to do harm to others. Yes, there are those Muslims who want to do harm to other Muslims and non-Muslims. But when you look at the Quran, this is what you see. Again, what I am giving you the Quranic passages. Whoever kills a believer, so according to Quranic perspective, Jews are believers, Christians are believers, according to Quranic perspective. Okay? So you cannot kill an innocent believer. If you do, your destination is hell. And God has utterly condemned you and excluded you from His mercy, and He is prepared for you a tremendous punishment. If you kill an innocent people, an innocent person, innocent believer, your final destination will be hell, and you will be staying there eternally. It doesn't matter whether you are a Muslim or not. Okay? Human beings have dignity. Okay, you saw this term before, Tawheed, the oneness of God. You have the oneness of God, but at the same time you have the oneness of humanity. And there is one God and there is one humanity. The passage says, this is also from the Quran, God is speaking, we have honored the children of Adam. It doesn't make any distinction. It doesn't distinguish. It doesn't say we have honored the children of Muslims. Children of Adam, all Muslim, all human beings have dignity. Okay? The sanctity of life. The sanctity of life. This is another teaching again that we will see in the Quran. Another passage, as you can see, these are all the Quranic passages. The Quran talks about the diversity. The Quran talks about the diversity in community. It says, if your Lord had so willed, he would have made all humankind one single community with the same faith. But he didn't choose that. There is this diversity. People have following different religious traditions, speaking different languages, having different races, having different ethnicities. And that diversity is the will and the wisdom of God. God chose that diversity. God chose that multiculturalism. God chose that multi-religiousness, let's call it, as a test for us to test. So if your Lord bid, he would make all humankind with one single community with the same faith, worldview, and life pattern. Another passage talks about the diversity of colors and languages. Okay? The diversity of colors and languages. Again, this is the first number, the chapter number or the surah number, and the second number is the verse number. It says, among his signs, remember, among his ayat, is the creation of the heavens and earth, and the diversity of language, your languages and colors. We all came from one single pair of male and female. We all came from Adam and Eve, people who do believe in the God, who do believe in the creation story, right? But then we have these different races, different colors, different skin colors, and different languages that we speak. Okay? That diversity again is the wisdom of God, according to this passage. In this, there are signs indeed for people who have knowledge, people who think, people who reason, people who contemplate, people who reflect. There are signs in this diversity. Another passage, diversity in religion. If your Lord had so willed, all who are on the earth would surely have believed, all of them. Would you then, the Prophet Muhammad, or would you then, Muslims, force people until they become believers? There are Christians, there are Jews, there are agnostics, there are atheists, there are Buddhists, there are Hindus. God didn't want them, all of them to follow the same path. God didn't want them to, all of them to be believers, to be faithful. Again, it's a test according to this Quranic passage. So would you then force people until they become believers? So that's why you cannot force people to become a Muslim or to become a believer. You cannot force an atheist, you cannot force an agnostic, you cannot force a Hindu to be a monotheist, to be a follower of the one religion, okay? the religion of one God. Regarding that issue, forcing and compulsion, this is again, these are all from the Quran. Let there be no compulsion for religion. This is a passage that is translated, that is interpreted in two ways. There is no compulsion for religion. So that's why the Quran is saying to Muslims, you cannot force people to become a Muslim, or you cannot force people to become a believer. That's one. And there is no compulsion in religion. You cannot force your fellow Muslim to practice the religion. There are these what's called the secular Muslims, or the non-practicing Muslims. So you cannot force them to practice the religion of Islam. There is no compulsion in the religion. Okay? Another passage. Whoever wills to believe, let him believe, and whoever wills to believe, let him disbelieve. Another passage. You have your religion, I have my religion. Right? There are these religions in all, what, at least, I don't know, Pastor Kate, when you took the course, how many world religions did you cover? but at least 19 major world religions. Major world religions. So you have my religion, I have my religion, you have your religion, I have my religion. These are the questions, just so you know, that were asked to an Egyptian Grand Mufti. There is this guy, he retired, what was his name? Ali al-Juma. He was the Grand Mufti of Egypt, so the religious leader of Egypt. And in the interview, he was asked these questions. Can a Muslim become a non-Muslim? Can a Muslim leave Islam? And he said yes. And these are the three passages that he presented. According to these passages, yes, can a Muslim leave Islam? Yes, can a Muslim can leave Islam and become a non-Muslim? Why do we have this diversity again? According to the Quran, we need knowledge. That's why we have this diversity. We created you, God is speaking. We created you human beings, not just the Muslims, from a single pair of male and female, Adam and Eve, and made you into different tribes and families so that you may know one another. You are different, so that's why you may know one another. I mean, think about that. If we were all the same, do you think we will, feel the need to search for the others or to want to know the others? No, I would say they're all the same. The same skin color, same religion, same worldview, same faith, same understanding. Why do I need them? They are the same. Because of the diversity, it's pushing us to search for the others. I mean, just to know the others. Okay? Listen to the others, what the others are saying. Okay? It doesn't mean that you have to accept the religion of that person. It doesn't mean that you have to follow the path that person follows, but just to listen what they are saying. What kind of people these are? The Christians. Who are these Christians? The Muslims. Who are these Muslims? Just knowing the person. So that's why I would say, if you want to know about Islam, don't read the Quran. It doesn't give you anything. Meet a Muslim. Yes. If you want to know about Christianity, don't read the Bible. Which Bible, by the way? Meet a Christian. So listening to others and understanding what they are saying. Okay? Listening, understanding, and if you do respect, show him the respect or show her the respect, right? So that's what I don't like personally. I don't like this, what's the term, coexistence, right? The famous bumper sticker, coexist, okay? I don't like this term. It's okay, but it's not enough. This is what coexistence means. I'm a Christian, you are a Jew, or you are a Muslim. You know what? I don't like you, and I don't like the religion that you follow. I don't like your path, and I hate you too. But you know what? We can coexist. We can live side by side. That's not enough. What we need is the mutual respect. I may not believe what you believe. I may not follow the path that you take on. But I respect you as a human being, and I respect the belief that you have. You have religion, I have my religion. But I respect you as a human being, accepting people as they are. I accept you as you are. Respecting people, that's the key, as I said. Not just simple coexistence, but mutual respect. And then, again, as I said before, I'm repeating one more time, there are those Muslims who want to do the harms. There are some Muslims who believe that they are the ones who are saved. They are the ones who will be going to heaven, right? But when you look at the Quran, when you look at the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad, you will see that these messages of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, they're all the same. As I said, this is what I meant by religion. Islam is not a new religion. There is this strong connection between Islam and Judaism. There is this strong connection between Christianity and Islam. Okay? And according to Quranic passages, that message is universal. According to Quranic passages, that message is universal. And its manifestations are plural. Yes, again, there are people who have exclusivist understanding, exclusivist view. My religion is the one. My way is the way. I am the one who will be going to heaven, right? This is the exclusivist. I exclude you. And then you have the inclusivist view, inclusivist understanding. You have your religion. I mean, your religion might have some partial truth, but still mine is the better. Mine is the best. Okay? So this is the inclusivist understanding. And then you have the pluralist understanding. Let's say I live in Chicago and I want to go to New York, right? I can take the plane, I can take a bus, I can drive my car, I can take the boat, I believe, to New York. I can even bicycle to New York. I can even walk to New York. I wouldn't do that, but I have that option, right? So you see me as a person, the same, and my destination does not change from Chicago and New York. But the path that I take, the means that I take, they are different. That's the pluralist understanding. Message comes from the one God, the Creator, Ahl Kitab. So this is the term that the Quran is using for Jews and Christians, Ahl Kitab. Okay? Sometimes translated as a people of the book, sometimes translated as family of the book, because Ahl means also family in Arabic. People of the book, family of the book. This is a special title given to Jews and Christians. What does it mean? It means that Jews have a scripture, it means that they believe in one creator, it means that Christians have a scripture, it means that they believe in one creator, God. People of the book. And the Quran is teaching Muslims how to behave, how to speak with the people of the book, how to speak with Jews and Christians. And for example, discussion of the people of the book, not killing the people of the book, discussion with the people of the book. Do not argue with those who were giving the book. Do not argue with Jews and Christians. Say it in the best way. If you want to argue, do it nicely, okay? Without killing them. And say to them, so the Quran is speaking to Muslims, say to Jews and Christians, we believe in what has been sent down to us, whatever in the Quran, and what was sent down to you, Jews and Christians. Your God and our God is one and the same. This is in the Quran. But again, as I said, there are Muslims, there are Christians who do not believe in that. There are Muslims, they might say, Pastor Dean, you asked the question, right? There are Muslims, no. Jews, they believe in different God. And since we have this Trinity in Christianity, Christians believe in a different God. There are these Muslims. Okay? But look at what the Quran is saying. Your God and our God is one and the same. We are Muslims who submitted, the Holy submitted to Him. This is what Muslim means. Again, literally, what Muslim means. Okay? Another passage from the Quran. And you will most certainly find that the nearest of the people in affection to the Muslims are those who say we are Christians. The closest people to you, Muslims, people who are, who say we are Christians. This is in the Quran. This is because there are those among them, there are those, the Christians who wake up, who pray, who are in sincere devotion, right? Who worship God, who pray to God. So that's why, when you ask the question, does the Quran criticize Christianity? Does the Quran criticize Judaism? It does not. However, the Quran does criticize some Christians. The Quran does criticize some Jews. The Quran does criticize Muslims. There are much more criticism toward Muslims than Jews and Christians in the Quran. So it does not criticize religion as a whole. Okay? As I said, this is what I meant by there is no one picture of Islam, there is no one picture of Christianity, or one picture of Judaism. Okay? There are Muslims, there are Muslims, there are Muslims. There are Christians, there are Christians, there are Christians, right? Am I right? I am, I know. They are not arrogant, they are not arrogant. So this is another passage, okay? Another passage. O people of the book. So the Muslims are speaking to the Jews, Muslims are speaking to Christians. O people of the book, come to a common word between us and you. Come to a common word. Someone was talking about the commonalities between Judaism and Christianity and Islam. Common word between us and you. Who is us, Muslims, and who is you, Jews or Christians? That you worship none but God and associate none as a partner with Him. So believe in one God, the Creator. According to this passage, this is a very common, the greatest commonality, I would say, between Christianity and Islam. So this is a Quranic passage, right? And interestingly, just as a side note, this is chapter 3. And the chapter 3 is called Ali Imran in Arabic. Means the family of Imran. Who is Imran? The father of Virgin Mary. Who is Imran? He is the father of Mary in the Quran. So in this chapter, it talks about, the Quran talks about Virgin Mary, Jesus, their family. Okay, that's a side note again. So you have this passage, belief in one God, the Creator, right? In 2007, 138 Muslim scholars, Muslim academics, Muslim clerics, I don't want to say the clerics the word, but religious leaders, they did sign a document called A Common Word Between Us and You. And according to this document, the common word between Muslims and the Christians, the common word between Muslims and the Jews is love. In a very general sense. Loving your God, loving your neighbor, loving your enemy, love your enemy, right? It doesn't say tolerate your enemy, it says love your enemy, right? So this is the statement that was sent, that was sent to the churches, the Christian churches in Europe, the Christian churches in the United States, and it's also the statement was sent to the Jewish synagogues and Jewish temples, and there were responses from Christian churches and Jewish synagogues. So this is again that was a very big interaction between Muslims and Christians in 2007. The number that was 138 at the time in 2007, but right now I think it's number more than 400. So more than 400 Muslim scholars, academics, and religious leaders signed the same document, endorsing and promoting and supporting the same document, saying that yes, we have a commonality between Muslims and Christians, and that common word is love. And there is a website.